Hello, this is Ben from Ben's Kitchen and Garden, and I'm at my community garden plot here. I'll show you a bunch more around the area. This is going to be a tough summer growing season because there's a massive construction project going on about 6 inches away from the edge of my garden plot. So I'm working on what is essentially a cliff, which I'll show you in a second, but thankfully my raised beds are totally intact and I'll just make the most of it. I'm just going to show you this briefly with me talking sitting here on this bench, because then I'm going to take some more footage, but also I'm actually going to work. I'm really looking forward to just spending time in my garden, so this is just a quick little intro. I have my tomatoes, which you've seen in other videos, and I spend a lot of time growing and starting these. I can show you the other videos of me potting them up, but you can see how gorgeous they are right now. And then I have a few other materials which I'll show you. So the one thing I did this year, which I really liked, was I put down 2 layers of cardboard, and I have almost a clean, totally weed-free garden bed, which I'll show you as well. And then I also am gonna put straw on top of that. So I'm really hoping to not do any weeding. And with the construction going on, I'm not sure how much time I'm gonna be around just hanging out weeding in my garden. So that was one of my thinking ahead plans. The other thing I have is these are earthworm castings, and you could use whatever sort of product you have available. I just got these at, I don't know, a big box store. I can't remember where. But I'm gonna mix that into my already pretty heavily gardened raised beds here. And then I'm also gonna top it with compost, which we have delivered from our community plots. And this is just like standard bagged, composted, extra raised bed soil. They advertise it as raised garden bed soil, and that's kind of a newer like advertising shtick that they do. But really all it is a ton of peat moss, which again is somewhat controversial depending on how it's harvested, but it is a like well draining soil. And then it's got compost and some other fertilizer. That's an organic mix there. It has worm castings in it, but I like to really load up these little seedlings right when I put them in, because I know that once they're in there and they're well fed and they're ready to go, they take off like crazy. So that's kind of the overview of my plan today. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm just super excited to be out, ready to go. It's that time of year. I'll show a little bit of footage of me working and just enjoying getting back out here. But for the most part, today's a big day, second to last day of May, and the tomatoes are going in the ground. Hey, all right, check it out. I laid out all the tomatoes. I'll show you that. Now I'm getting way down here. I'm gonna get this into the ground here. This is nice, beautiful, clean. Imagine if it looked like this all summer. It won't, but I'm gonna dig this way down and in, just like I did for the potting up. And I'm gonna put it in here, and you can see how fluffy this is. I really don't wanna walk on this at all, because I want this to stay super light and not compacted and not make a hard pan. And there's a whole bunch of technique around that for aeration, for drainage, for roots. But for today, I'm just gonna pop this out. You can see, beautifully root bound, ready to go. Can I zoom in? I mean, focus, possibly. Oh, nice, there you go. So it's ready to go. Now I'm gonna do the same thing here, and I'm gonna plant it way down in here. So like this, and then you're gonna be sad to see it, but it's barely gonna be up above the ground at all. So it started off maybe 6-inch plant, and it's maybe gonna be about 2 inches by the time it's in the dirt. This is gonna be totally covered with straw, and I'm excited. I'm feeling it today. This is exciting. All right, so I just got done planting everything, and it's looking good. Took longer than I expected, but that's normally how this goes. So I just want to show one quick thing, which I'm gonna grab this here and flip my camera around so you can see this. So if you look here, all I did was cut a hole out for my tomato to go through the cardboard. And I did that across all of my big bed here. Now over here I didn't have the cardboard, and I just planted them in the ground, and I'll add straw later, but I think I'm gonna leave it like this because they're just a little bit too small. They're gonna get buried in the straw if I do that. So I cut a hole, the cardboard's still there, it's still gonna be protecting me from weeds, But now I don't have to worry about a ton of extra weeding because just a little hole there and the tomato plant goes in. Pretty small chance of weeds coming through there, and if there are, it's gonna be a really small area of weeds. So that's the plan for now. And as you can tell here, it's getting hot and I'm ready to take a break. So tomatoes are in, maybe in a week or two I'll add straw. I think we're supposed to get rain, but got to make sure that they're really soaked in right after you plant them so they don't wilt and fry as they adjust to their new setting. So there we go. Now the fun part, the growing, and then the really fun part, which is the eating. Thanks for watching. For more kitchen and gardening, you can check out benskitchenandgarden.com.